In this convert story, Jacinta explains how wellness and well-being can be achieved through accepting Islam. Learn how this wellness coach fasted the Islamic fast before she was even a Muslim. Learn the truth behind living well and maintaining a good spiritual balance in this life, so you can properly deal with the ups and downs of the world we live in. Jacinta converted to Islam in 2018. That was 2 years ago. She is 38 years old and is from Melbourne. She has Maltese background. Today's host is Tanya.
First question, what were your first impressions of Islam?
Back in the day, my impression was it was a very strict religion, and when I was a teen, religion back then kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I seen it as, to be a Muslim, there was a great discipline, and with all religions, there was that great discipline and that structure, and, you know, not to displease our creator was something that was not sitting with me because I was going through adolescence. So I kind of steer clear of religions completely because of that. And, you know, went through that teenage phase, which I kind of wish I didn't do, because, you know, it delayed me finding something that was absolutely wonderful and gave me the discipline I actually needed in life and self-control, and gave me a sense of purpose. So I kind of wish I had flipped it back and used that to my advantage.
And just to add a bit of context, so like, do you come from a religious family, or like what's the background before?
Well, my background was Roman Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a strict religion, but, you know, did go to like Catholic school on the weekends, and, you know, attended Sunday sermons and stuff like that. But it wasn't strict, and I noticed within the church things started changing and becoming very lenient.
Yeah,
you know, like the way we were dressed, and, you know, I remember the elderly ladies in the community would actually cover, and they would, well, for us it's hijab, but back then they were covering, and it went away. Even pants went away. They weren't wearing long skirts anymore. They wanted pants, and they wanted this right to be like a man, to say.
Yeah.
So, you know, things changed, and I noticed that, and that's kind of what led me to, I think, distance myself from it, because it wasn't, why are you changing something that's been set in its ways for so many years and it's worked?
That's true.
So, yeah, that was where I went then, kind of just went away from everything, and then learnt about different religions, and that's what brought me to Islam.
Okay. So so you're saying like you searched up quite a few religions. So what about Islam got your attention more so than any other religion?
It was the discipline that, you know, and it was the discipline and the fact that it never changed. It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
You know, there was certain things that have been implemented for us to, you know, protect us as women, that were implemented and never changed, you know, and hijab, for instance, was one of them. You know, conserving ourselves and being modest, where my previous religion didn't. It allowed anything now.
Yeah.
You know, even to the point of things that weren't acceptable are now deemed acceptable.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted that structure, and I wanted those guidelines to live by, and I found a sense of, you know, purpose, and that I can't even explain it. But after I did my shahada, like that, I was like finally ready to actually ask for forgiveness for the things that I've done that, you know, in the past was, you know, not so halal. and, you know, wasn't right on any level, even morally, things that I did. So when I did my Shahada, I felt this sense of relief and light just come through me, like, you know what, you've finally stopped all these things and you've taken a new lease on life. So I was completely ready to change and embrace structure and, you know, live by certain guidelines that every single person in the world should live by, small little guidelines, and having those morals and principles and fundamentals just working for you. And that's what it brought to me. So whole new ball game in life.
I actually agree with that 100%. Like my story is that I accepted Islam a few months ago myself, actually.
Oh, mashallah, congratulations.
Thank you. But the thing was that before Islam, like, I thought that I didn't need guidance, and now that I have embraced Islam, like, the attitude has made me like, how did I actually live before this? Like, how could I have actually survived? Like, you know, the answers to all of the big questions, like whether it's how you treat yourself, how you treat your society, how you treat your family, how you treat your spouse, how, you know, you treat your own body and the rights that you have. Like, Islam answers all of that. And sometimes I just marvel at, like, how did I survive, you know, my past life believing that I didn't need all of that?
Yeah. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference, like, within your soul when you've got those little guidelines.
100%. I agree, especially now that I've embraced it and practicing it. Like, yeah, that's been one of the really interesting changes I've experienced. So, no, it's really
and it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Which, you know, there's certain religions out there, they've changed it to sit with modern times.
Yeah.
Okay, we can change our clothes to sit with modern times, and, you know, but I think our principles and values need to stay the same because they've worked.
Yeah. Like, I think one of the things that I always observe, like, community is ever changing. It's subjective. It's based on your opinion. Like, some things were right 50 years ago, where then they're almost considered a joke now. And whereas things that were considered immoral 50 years ago are almost considered a right today. And that's the thing, community is ever changing. But I feel like when you find the right religion, and like, i.e. Islam, where you actually find that it's very objective. It's not based on someone's opinion. Like, you can truly see this guidance is from God, because you see whoever follows it finds that inner peace.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what it's about. So I completely agree with you on that, 100%. How long did, like, you know, your researching or the researching into the religion take before you were ready to embrace Islam?
I think it was probably about 3 years. So it happened earlier when I was younger, but as I said, like, I just kept going in and out of things, and, you know, I wasn't in that right headspace to understand. But then the last few years, it was, I kind of made a whole lifestyle change and changed so much stuff that I got to this point where I was seeing a counsellor regularly, and I stopped having a sense of purpose. Like, I didn't understand why I was even alive anymore. So I started doing more research, and I was in a toss between two religions, and I had been fasting, and a friend of mine said, you've been fasting for 10 years. What if you died? I said, so what if I died? Like, I die, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's like, but if you were a Muslim, you would be going to Jannah. And I'm like, yeah, nah, it's all right. Like, just let me do what I'm doing. And, you know, obviously Ramadan was coming up that year, and all the stuff that I've learned so far was playing on my head now. So everything that I was doing, you know, I was praying, I was fasting. I had been fasting for 10 years.
Wow.
It's like, why would you fast if there's no reward and no benefit to it?
Yeah.
So it played on my head a little bit, and I was like, well, what if I do die? If there is no God, what does it matter? But if there is a God, then what if I am not Muslim?
Yeah.
And if there is no God, so all this playing in my head, if there is a God, maybe I should, maybe I don't, but if there is anyway, will it forgive me, you know? So it just like played with my head, and, you know, I got some more books out that, you know, I had stashed under my bed, and I was reading, and I was just like, you know what, just the case of what if, what am I got to lose? Am I going to lose anything if there isn't a God and I do this? Like, so I ended up saying my shahada, and I went and spoke to one of my friends, and her mother-in-law and her son and my daughter were there, and it was, you know, just a few simple words, and that was it. And literally the minute I said it, it was just relief.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what did I wait all this time for? Like, what was I waiting for?
It's true.
So everything that I had learned, like, came down to that day before of like, what are you waiting for? Why did you wait?
Yeah.
So it was good.
What did you find were the challenges when you first embraced Islam?
That the reactions of my friends and family, well, those who I thought were my friends, I should probably say, those who I thought were my friends and my family, and that decision before wearing hijab and not wearing hijab when you're kind of on the fence, that was probably the hardest part. Going from, you know, 30, I think it was like 36 years at that stage of not wearing hijab. So it was those challenges and the reactions of people that were close to me.
Yeah.
It was a little disheartening, but I found a couple of people online. I went online on Facebook actually and was searching some groups trying to find other Muslim women in the community, and trying to find other reverts that were in Melbourne. And that brought me to meet a couple of sisters, and I ended up at Preston Masjid, and they were very supportive over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that family reaction was initially a really kick to my stomach, but after a few weeks, they realised that there was this massive change in me. So I think it kind of enlightened them as well. And then, you know, all these so-called friends of mine that were there through all the negative stuff and all the bad things and, you know, all the not so great life, had now just disappeared, blocked me, deleted my number, and, you know, sent some nasty text messages. And it was like Allah was literally making way for new people and getting rid of all the negativity and all those things that are going to bring not so great things into your life. So it was at the same time not a great feeling, but then there was this influx of amazing and wonderful people that started rolling in. So alhamdulillah, like it was bad, but there was also all that massive of you know, wealth of goodness that flew through as well.
And what did you find easy when you accepted Islam?
Praying, actually. That was probably the easiest thing.
Okay.
It was like I've seen a lot of people struggle with it, but it became really easy because I was in that state of like, I don't know, meditating and learning to be still with myself. So having this time now to, you know, give thanks back to my creator was really easy because I could just implement it and just do it. And, you know, it gave me that time to just give that thanks for, you know, that 24 hours in my day, you know, giving that 24 minutes of salat was, beneficial now. I wasn't doing it I was doing it before, but I had no reason for it. So praying was the easiest thing now because I was able to do it with purpose. So definitely prayer.
Yeah, okay, that's actually really beautiful because yes, like I have heard for a lot of people that prayer can often be one of the most challenging things, and even my personal experience was that it was one of the harder ones. But praise be to God, like now He's opened my heart, so it is a lot easier. Definitely, that's really interesting, actually. Okay. So, what advice would you give to someone who's wanting to learn about Islam?
Educate yourself. Go to your local library. I would say go online, but that's not even sometimes a good thing because you can get different information, and go to your local Buddhist temple or your Catholic church, or go to your local masjid. Go to different places and learn. Educate yourself on their principles and fundamentals, and find what sits and aligns with you, because at the end of the day, like for me, it was that structure. It didn't change. Islam hasn't changed, where many other religions have changed to fit modern lifestyle. So it was that it's so easy. It's so simple. It's not a difficult religion. It sounds difficult when you go into all the laws and everything, but there's so many answers to everything that no matter what, there's an answer. It's there. It's all in the Quran already for us. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's shown us that it is very, very, very easy. And just research, like no matter what, and don't research online. That's I really don't like this whole online thing. Go to places, go to places of worship and seek information from people that are knowledgeable, not online resources. Because I've had the experience of I was reading one thing online about Islam, started all really like actually about Islam, and then went into something completely different, and I was just like, what happened here? So how do you, it was like, I don't know, getting people into it, and then just this whole flip on things, and I was just like, I don't know if that was meant to be in there, or someone edited it and put all this stuff that was not even okay to be reading. So I was just like, yep, all right, no online resources. So thankfully I had a lot of sisters gave me books to read, and we passed around so much information. Preston Masjid again, like they'd actually been amazing with information. There's so many sisters and there's so many groups out there that are able to help, and the sheikhs and the imams, like they're absolutely amazing.
Now, what I want to do is I just sort of want to ask a few more specific questions, like just in relation to what you do today. So I understand that you are a health and wellness coach.
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you think your profession has helped you since embracing Islam?
It has a lot. So through going through Islam and teaching and educating and listening to so much of it, you realize that obviously there's this massive understanding that we should be living clean, we should be living wholesome, and not filling our bodies with chemicals, or putting preservatives or pesticides, and just living clean, living simple as it was back in the day. So I had to do like a whole turnaround on everything that I was putting into my body, and what I had around my house. So you literally, as you're cleansing your soul and you're embracing Islam, you cleanse your body, and you start changing, taking those small steps to implement in your life when you make all these amazing changes for yourself. So the Prophet ate really simple. He taught us how to eat. He's taught us how to drink and when to drink, and he teaches you to like drink your water slowly, and you know, to eat small amounts and don't indulge. And so it was about living simple again. So when I got introduced to LTLA, which is Learn to Live Again, the company that we get all our products from, which is called Modere, we have everything natural and everything is really simple and clean. So it aligned with me a lot. So that's why I invested into the company. And then I realized that there was other issues, all the damage that I had done to my body from the past. So I got onto the LTLA program and started repairing my gut, and I lost 20 kilos from doing all this. And you know, I'm doing the program again. So I said, you know what, it's time for me to help other people with this, because so many of us don't take care of us. We're too busy taking care of other people, and we always leave ourselves behind. So I was like, you know what, it's time to start studying, learn everything, and I'm still going to continue learning and help other people with making these small little changes. And it's all it starts with, making small little changes, whether it's changing your toothpaste to a non-fluoride one, and not using an alcohol-based mouthwash, and all the products that, you know, we have in our range sit within our sunnah as well. So it was like, our sunnah is like our way of life, for those that don't know. So it was like, it aligned with me, with my principles within Islam as well. So I was like, all right, embrace. And obviously, due to losing my other business, I was stuck at home and still stuck at home. So I was like, you know what better time to do this while people are stuck at home, make the changes now. And I got the ball rolling, and this is where we are today, health and wellness coach. And I offer free online workouts as well for people that want to start working out, but they're not necessarily ready for like a gut repair program or a weight loss program. So having that active movement helps with your mental health as well, not just your body.
Okay. So I'm really curious, like, are you able to like run through like sort of the basics, or a brief explanation of how this gut repair program works?
Yeah, so we start by changing your diet, so your nutrition intake. We eliminate any inflammatory foods. So, you know, lots of us end up with bloating or diarrhea or constipation due to our diet, things that we, you know, eat due to either culture or, you know, where we're from. There's certain foods that we eat, but we don't realize that they have this massive effect on our gut, and everything that goes in our gut can form either ease or disease. And disease is in like actual disease. So repairing your gut ultimately changes how you're going to, your body, day-to-day life is going to be affected. So we at its full. And, you know, prevent is always better than cure. So all these little changes that you do and put in your body or on your skin, you know, has this massive effect on your day-to-day life. So it repairs you repair yourself from the inside out, even your skin. Like, it's the biggest organ of our body, but you know, we don't treat it with the respect that it deserves sometimes.
Do you find a lot of similarities between like the sort of foods that are harmful, and do you find like a correlation in what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to advise as well?
Yeah, there is so many. That's why I was like 100% like saying that I have to work with this company, because it actually worked within the sunnah. Like everything he says, like eating slowly and saying that take the break before you drink water or, you know, drink anything. And him saying like, if you're going to eat meat, you eat a small amount, like your palm.
Yeah.
These principles is what we apply to, you know, our weight loss and gut repair. And we should be, in today's society, we literally overeat so much. It's not even funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we overeat, and there's this thing in our head about getting value for money when it comes to food.
Yeah.
And thinking that more is better, but it's not. Even there's a hadith somewhere, I can't remember what it is, but I've been trying to find it, about eating 3 white foods. And he was talking about like wheat flour, salt and sugar, and how harmful it is to our body, that it needs to be taken in moderation. And he's right, they are harmful to our body. They clog us up, and sugar makes us like we become addicted to it.
Yes. Yeah.
And even like I'm a qualified chef by trade as well, and one thing that we learnt was to make people satisfied but wanting more. So there was this perfect balance between salt and sugar that made you want to eat more. And you probably notice this when you eat a potato chip. You know you've had enough, but you still want more because of the taste that it leaves in your mouth, and you know the hormones that it triggers in your brain to say, hey, don't have one more, like go for another, like, you know, it tastes good.
Yes.
So it brings out this addiction to us of this salt and this sugar balanced perfectly. It's called a bliss point. So that's something that we try and steer clear of, because it makes you crave food that even you shouldn't even, like, we shouldn't even be craving it.
Okay.
So thankfully it does sit with what Prophet Muhammad has taught us. And that was like my 100% number one reason to be like, you know what, this is perfect.
Definitely sounds amazing. Wow, I'm gonna check this out. Okay. Now, last question that I want to ask: what are your dreams or aspirations for the future?
I'm like, oh God, everything's changed now thanks to COVID.
Oh yes, definitely.
My thing is that I literally want to see the whole world living clean and feeling better externally, mentally, and physically. I really would love the world to just be balanced again. I know that the world's probably never going to do that, but I really hope that's what can happen. And if that every person in the world started making these small little changes to their, like, you know, from the food that they eat and nurture themselves properly, it's going to have a massive effect on their mental well-being and their physical well-being. And if we all did it, it's like this massive energy around the world would just change.
Yeah.
Because you are what you eat. And, you know, even the words that you throw out into yourself, if you fill yourself with this positivity, that's the only thing that's going to be thrown out into the world is more positivity. So that would be like ultimate dream for everyone to live clean and eat clean.
Yeah.
And for myself to pass that knowledge on to my kids and to pass it on to other people, that re-education that, you know, we don't have to eat fast and have fast food to get through life. Like, it's not a rush.
Yeah.
So just taking things slow. And for my business, my meal prep business, to take off and, you know, to help other people, that would be good too.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, it actually already does seem like there's nearly been a shift in the attitudes of this world. Like, I feel like a lot of people now are trying to look for a more natural way of life. Like, I feel like the advertising companies are now really trying to sell, oh, you know, we're natural, and it's all biodegradable, or like, all of these sort of things like probiotics. And I feel like there's sort of been a shift in what the consumers want. Like, it really does seem that we've probably had enough of the processed stuff, and now people are actually trying to keep away from that and go towards more natural forms of eating or exercising or whatever it is. So I do actually find that very interesting, and I hope you definitely succeed in getting the word out to as many people as you can.
Inshallah. Yeah, that's unfortunately, supermarket chains and all these big corporations that like to make a fast dollar, they have massive amounts of marketing material.
Yeah.
And, they've got these social marketers that, they use these colors and they use wording that make people think that they are okay.
Yeah.
And we really need to re-educate ourselves that the middle aisle of a supermarket should be a no-go zone for you.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's just literally processed food, and it's packed full of sugar and packed full of preservatives and nasty stuff that your body doesn't need at all. And if it had a shelf life that long, food should actually rot. Like, that's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
So food that rots is actually a good thing. It means it's natural.
Yes.
Food that has this shelf life of, like, I think I read something the other day, which was like 2026. And I was just thinking to myself, I'll probably be dead, and that biscuit would still be in my stomach while my body's already, like, degraded.
Yeah.
So I was just like thinking, how is it even possible? These things are going to be sitting around on shelves while the rest of the world is not even here. So it amazes me, like, our bodies are supposed to dissolve at the end of the day, but these foods, that's not gonna happen. They're just going to be there and probably be slightly stale.
Exactly.
So yeah, steer clear of the supermarket. Go to a butcher if you're eating like meat and stuff, and stick to local produce and seasonal produce.
Yes.
And if you can, grow your own. Make sure you're putting that vitamins and minerals into the ground. And if you're not, I can always supply you with great minerals and supplements. So try and live off the earth again. Keep it simple, and then you appreciate your food too, and it tastes so much better when it's not farmed in mass quantities.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that sense of achievement and that sense of belonging, because, like, you've grown this yourself, you've put in the effort to grow your own thing.
And you appreciate it.
Yeah, much more appreciative. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, even starting off with some herbs, having a small, like, growing little parsley in pots and having them on your windowsill, coriander and lemongrass. It's there, and, like, it's so much, like, I don't know, my kids, they love, like, going in the backyard and chopping off spring onion, and I keep telling them, you don't have to pull the whole thing out, just cut it off and it will just keep growing back. And the same with parsley and chili, like, they grow. Just pop them in the freezer when they're, going through their peak, and it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think the thing that I think I find the most amazing about this sort of topic is that the solution to all of the problems in the world were literally given 1,400 years ago by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And it feels like that the more time that is passing, the more we're actually finding the solutions based on that, what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said. Like, even about the COVID times, like, isolate or be 2 meters apart. You shouldn't be traveling, nor should you be going anywhere. And when you sneeze, you should sneeze into your elbow. Like, little things like this. These solutions were already given 1,400 years ago, and that just blows my mind.
They've everything was there for us.
Yes, exactly.
In a little book called the Quran. It's like
Yeah,
it's there.
it's all there. But the issue is the label, really, because if you put a scientific label, people will listen. But for some reason, as soon
And
as it's
it's
got
all
like a religious
scientific.
label, yeah,
Like it's scientifically proven.
yes,
Like the
exactly,
things in there have been proven. So it
yeah,
is about that research, doing that
100%.
research, and it literally awakes you.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So yes, that's why I find Islam it's so holistic. Not only targeting your gut, but even your emotional and your physical well-being, and basically like just a holistic approach to your entire human body. Like the solution is right there. It's just a matter
Yeah,
of finding it and accepting it.
that's it.
Yeah, no, I find it beautiful. But yes. All right. Thank you so much, Jacinta, for your time. I really
No
appreciate it.
worries. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's all right. And I hope to see you again on our show in the near future.
Definitely, I'm here. Just give me an invite, and I will show up.
Sure, no worries. And for our audience listening, I hope you guys have an excellent time and please stay safe during these trying COVID periods as well. May the peace and blessings of God be with all of you today. And I hope you all have a wonderful time. See you guys later.